Chapter 1, The Lie Unraveled. I never thought I'd be that person, the one who finds out something she wasn't supposed to know. But here I was, staring at my phone, my heart sinking with every word I read. His name was Tyler. We'd been together for almost a year, and in that time, I thought I knew everything about him. I thought we had this incredible connection. We laughed together, traveled together, and I genuinely believed that he was the one. We had our issues, like any couple, but nothing that seemed like a deal breaker. Until that fateful Saturday morning. Tyler had left the night before for what he called a business trip. He'd been vague about the details, something about a conference in another city, but I didn't think much of it. He was always busy with work, and I had my own things to keep me occupied. But that morning, as I was scrolling through Instagram, I came across a post that immediately made my stomach drop. It was from my friend Sarah's account, a picture of her at a bar with a group of people, and right there in the corner of the photo was Tyler. I blinked, thinking I was seeing things. Maybe it was someone who looked like him. I zoomed in on the photo, trying to convince myself it was just a weird coincidence. But no. It was him. And there he was, clearly enjoying himself, a drink in hand, his arm draped over some woman's shoulder. I felt like the world had stopped spinning. I stared at the image for what felt like an eternity, but the truth was undeniable. He wasn't on a business trip, he was at a bar, hanging out with my friend, and some other woman. I checked the date on the post, it was from last night. The same night he had told me he'd be in a hotel room working on presentations. The same night he had sent me a text saying, "I miss you already? I'll call you later, promise." I felt nauseous, my hands shaking as I scrolled through Sarah's Instagram, trying to find more details. I couldn't help myself. Every photo I clicked on felt like another stab to my chest. There he was again in more pictures, smiling, laughing, completely carefree. But what really sent a chill down my spine was the woman beside him. She was tall, blonde, and way too familiar with him. They were too comfortable, too cozy. There was no way this was just a friendly hangout. I felt a knot tighten in my stomach, a feeling I'd never experienced before. This wasn't just confusion anymore. This was betrayal. I didn't know what to do next. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw my phone against the wall. I wanted to confront him, but I didn't know how to even begin. Instead, I did what felt like the only thing left to do. I sent Sarah a message. "Me, what's going on in this photo?" She replied almost immediately. "Sarah, oh, haha. That's Tyler. He's in town for work. He came out with us last night. You didn't know he was here?" My heart pounded as I read her response. He'd lied to me. Straight to my face. Dash. Want Chapter 2? Chapter 2, The Confrontation. I stared at Sarah's message, my mind racing. He's in town for work? He had told me he was away on business, but I had no idea it was the same night he was out with my friends, laughing and drinking. My thoughts were spiraling, and I could feel the anger bubbling up inside me. I couldn't wait any longer. I had to confront him. Without thinking, I called Tyler. It rang, and just as I was about to hang up, he finally picked up. "Hey, babe," he said, sounding all too casual. "How's everything going? I miss you. I miss you." My heart dropped at the words. He had just lied to me, and now he was pretending everything was fine. "Where are you?" I asked, my voice trembling despite my best efforts to stay calm. He hesitated. "I'm at the hotel. I told you. Busy with meetings." I tried to keep my tone neutral. "Is that where you were last night?" "Yeah, babe. I told you I had work to do." Something in me snapped. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I didn't know what I expected from him, but the truth was, I needed it. You know, I saw something last night. What? His voice was filled with confusion. I saw you, Tyler. On Instagram. With Sarah. At a bar. Having a good time, laughing with some girl. There was a long pause on the other end of the line, and then I heard him sigh. Listen, it's not what you think. It was just a friendly hangout. We all went out for drinks after the event, just to unwind. Just a hangout. I echoed, my voice rising now. A friendly hangout? With that woman. I could feel my chest tighten, and I was struggling to keep it together. Tyler, you lied to me. You said you were working, but you were out partying with my friend and some random woman. I heard him sigh again, and then he finally spoke, his voice flat. Okay, fine. I didn't want to tell you because I knew you'd get upset. But I didn't think it would be a big deal. It's nothing. Nothing. I repeated, laughing bitterly. You're telling me it's nothing? You lied to me about where you were with my friend, and that's supposed to mean nothing. He didn't say anything for a moment, and then he muttered, look, I didn't want to hurt you, okay? I didn't think it would matter if we went out with some people from the conference. It wasn't a big deal. And that girl? She's just a friend of a friend. I wasn't flirting with her or anything like that. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest as I tried to make sense of his words. Just a friend? That's all he had to say? He was acting like this was no big deal, but to me, it was everything. I don't care who she is, I said, my voice shaking now. The point is, you lied to me. You told me you were working, and instead, you were out having drinks with my friend and some other woman, and I don't know what to believe anymore. Tyler's tone shifted, like he was getting frustrated. Come on, don't blow this out of proportion. We're fine, okay? I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but it wasn't anything. Just let it go. But I couldn't. I couldn't just let it go like it didn't matter. I'd trusted him, and now, everything felt like it was falling apart. I don't think I can just let this go, Tyler, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. There was another pause, and then he spoke, quieter now. Look, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean for this to happen. But we don't need to make a big deal out of it. We can forget this ever happened. But that's the thing about lies, you can't just forget them. Once they're out in the open, they change everything. I can't forget this, Tyler. I think I need some space. There was a sharp intake of breath on the other end of the line. Wait, what? You're breaking up with me over this? I don't know, I said, feeling tears welling up in my eyes. I don't know if I can trust you again. I need to figure this out. The line went silent, and for a long moment, neither of us spoke. I could hear his breathing, but he didn't say anything. Finally, he sighed. Fine. Take all the time you need. But I'm telling you, it's nothing. I swear. I hung up before he could say anything else, my hand trembling as I put the phone down. I felt sick. This wasn't how I thought things would go. I never imagined that Tyler, the man I trusted, would betray me like this. But now I didn't know what was real anymore. I didn't know if I could ever go back to the way things were. Want Chapter 3? Chapter 3, Doubts and Decisions. The days that followed were a blur. I felt like I was living in a fog, everything moving around me but never quite making sense. The conversation with Tyler haunted me. I kept replaying his words in my head, each sentence echoing in a different way now. It's nothing. We're fine. Just let it go. But I couldn't just let it go. The more I thought about it, the more the doubt crept in. If this was truly nothing, why had he lied? Why couldn't he just tell me the truth? Why did he feel the need to hide it all from me? I knew I couldn't stay in this limbo forever. I had to make a decision. I spent the next few days reflecting. Talking to friends helped, but even their advice couldn't clear the fog in my mind. Sarah, of course, was on my side. She'd been a bit too enthusiastic when she found out what had happened, almost as though she was relieved I knew the truth. But then again, that was Sarah. She'd never sugarcoat anything, even if it meant upsetting people. It was funny. For a moment, I felt a little betrayed by her too. I mean, how could she hang out with Tyler behind my back and never say a word? But then again, I had to remind myself that I was just as much at fault for not questioning Tyler's story sooner. I texted Sarah one night, asking her to meet up. I needed clarity, someone to tell me if I was overreacting, or if I was right to feel like my entire world had been shaken. When we met, I could see the guilt in her eyes. She knew what I was thinking. I didn't want to tell you, you know, she said, her voice quieter than usual. Tyler told me not to say anything. He said it would be better if you didn't know. He didn't want to upset you. I could feel the anger rising again. He didn't want to upset me? So, what? You were just supposed to keep it a secret. She sighed, looking down at her drink. I know it looks bad, but it really wasn't like that. I swear. He was just being Tyler. You know how he is when it comes to commitment. He's always telling people that his relationships are private. I felt my heart sink. I had always known Tyler was a bit closed off, but this was something else entirely. I thought I was the one he trusted. I thought I was different. I don't know, Sarah, I muttered, shaking my head. He said it was nothing, but it sure felt like something. And I don't know if I can just forget it. She looked at me, her expression softening. I get it. But you have to ask yourself, do you trust him enough to move past this? Or is this the thing that breaks it all apart? Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. I had been so focused on the lies, the hurt, the betrayal, that I hadn't stopped to think about the bigger picture. Was I willing to forgive him? Could I ever feel the same way about him again after everything that had happened? I didn't know the answer. Chapter 4, The Break. By the end of the week, I made the hardest decision I'd ever had to make. I realized that I couldn't keep living in the uncertainty. I couldn't be with someone who lied to me so easily, someone who put me in this position where I was questioning everything. So, I called Tyler. This time, I didn't wait for him to call me. I took the initiative. It was time to confront the truth, once and for all. When he picked up, there was a noticeable hesitation in his voice. Hey, what's up? Tyler, I said, taking a deep breath. We need to talk. He paused for a moment, then sighed. Look, I already told you it wasn't a big deal. I don't care about that anymore, I interrupted. I care about the fact that you lied to me. That you hid something from me. That you made me feel like I couldn't trust you. I didn't mean to. Stop, I cut him off again. I don't want excuses. I want the truth. And honestly, I don't think I can keep doing this. I can't keep pretending like everything's fine when I don't know what's real anymore. There was silence on the other end. I could hear him breathing heavily, but he didn't speak. I need a break, Tyler, I said, my voice breaking just a little. I don't think I can be with you right now. I don't think I can be with someone who makes me feel like I'm not enough, like I'm not worth the truth. His voice cracked when he spoke. Don't do this. Please. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I know you didn't mean for it to happen, I said, my voice firm despite the tears welling in my eyes. But it did happen. And now we have to face the consequences. I'm sorry, he whispered. I really am. Please, don't walk away. But I already knew what I had to do. I had to walk away for my own peace of mind, for my own sanity. I'm sorry too, Tyler, I said, my voice barely a whisper now. But I think it's over. And just like that, everything that had once felt solid between us crumbled away. Want Chapter 5?